Hey everyone, Spider-Man 91 here doing my comic reviews for the week. First of all, there is no radical book for this week because I was very busy with a lot of stuff, with a lot of projects and stuff, and I couldn't find time to read it. And today, unfortunately, my local comic shop was closed, so I had to go to another one, which was like twice as far, so fortunately I was able to get my comics today. First of all, Darkwing Duck, Annual Number 1. Okay, this is a pretty much standalone story which features Quackerjack. Quackerjack's latest plan is to use this new ray gun he has to build against people who play online video games and pretty much turn them into like wooden dolls. I think that is. And Darkwing thinks he's figured out a way to stop Quackerjack by using his original Mr. Banana Brain. You know, that little stuffed thing he always carries around. There was a metallic robot version during the whole Quackerworks storyline, and now he has one that looks like it's made out of scrap metal. And now Darkwing is able to find the original in an online auction, and he gets outbid. So he and Launchpad go and try to figure it out, and it turns out the winning bidder was Quackerjack's girlfriend, who pretty much wants to give it to Quackerjack to remind him of a simpler, better time. And so Darkwing is able to convince her to take Banana Brain, and he goes off to stop Quackerjack, and he takes Banana Brain with him. And so pretty much when Quackerjack's a little conflicted between the banana heads when there's an accident with the ray, and what it does to toys is it brings them to life. And apparently for original toys it makes them giant size for some odd reason. And Quackerjack's caught, and so the banana heads are pretty much fighting over Quackerjack. Darkwing gets the ray in time, turns the bananas back into toys, but Quackerjack gets away. And Darkwing and Launchpad are able to reverse the effects, stop Quackerjack's plans, and in the end, though, Quackerjack decides that to turn himself into a toy to give to his girlfriend because he figures this is the best he'll ever be. And in another story, because this is an annual, Gosling and Drake Mallard are looking for a pet, and Gosling finds a turtle which apparently has the ability to send people traveling through seconds, and there's a message on the turtle that says, "Pack the bungee," which obviously means bungee cord, because if Gosling doesn't, Darkwing Duck dies. So, unfortunately, a villain takes the turtle, the villain from here, Chrono Duck, and Darkwing and Gosling find Chrono Duck, and luckily Gosling remembers to pack the bungee and saves Darkwing from his death. But later, Drake Mallard's trying to ponder the space-time continuum, which makes him insane. And we get a little text version here about how Darkwing Duck came to be. Great. Darkwing Duck Annual was great. It was a fun read. Nice little bonus about the origin of Darkwing. Pretty great. I would highly recommend this. Alright, now for Marvel. First of all, a title by two writers that I've heard a lot of good things about. Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning. Annihilators number 1. Mr. Abnett and Mr. Lanning have pretty much gotten a lot of positive reviews for their work with Marvel's cosmic heroes here. Quasar, Ronan, Silver Surfer, Gladiator, Beta Ray Bill, and also Nova and Star-Lord, who died in the previous cosmic arc, Thanos Imperative. I got Annihilators because I heard good things about them, and I thought, hey, I'd check it out. The issue, however, unfortunately, I did not. My only pre-cosmic reading was Nova Volume 1. That was it. I mean, other things got in the way, but when I heard this was coming out a couple weeks ago, I was on eBay and I bought the first 3 volumes, the 3-volume set of Annihilation, which was amazing. I'm going to stop here because I've changed the batteries in my camera. Okay, back. What I was saying about Annihilators. Basically, going into this without any knowledge, very little knowledge of the Cosmic Marvel universe, I thought it was good. It was a nice setup to the rest of the series, and this actually tells two stories, because it says here, plus Rocket Raccoon and Groot, who are members of the Guardians of the Galaxy. However, though, this issue is a little expensive. It costs, $4.99. That was the cover price. However, the Darkwing Annual here, which is practically the same price as the Darkwing Duck Annual. However, this series is only 4 issues, so it's not ongoing. That's good. Alright, all I'd say is, if you're going to check this out, then I would highly recommend reading Annihilation, Annihilation Conquest, and the Thanos Imperative before starting this. Actually, you can probably skip the last one, because the Thanos Imperative, the collected edition, doesn't come out until about on the 16th. Yep, that's when it comes out. But overall, Annihilators is pretty good. Alright, now for my second and final Marvel title, Avengers Academy number 10. Our story opens up with Hazmat and Vale starting their day, both focused on their misery, which is Vale worried that someday she's going to dissipate forever and die. Hazmat fearing that she's going to be trapped in a suit forever and that there's still no hope for a cure. And and we have Justice and Speedball teaching the kids superhuman ethics. And while talking, Vale brings up Stamford, which gets Speedball talking, saying that he talking about how he felt bad for this, and that soon that they're gonna have a field trip to go to Stamford, which was pretty much give him some insight about this. And also, Hazmat in anger management sees Dr. Pym, who brings to her Leech from the Fantastic Four, or Future Foundation. And Hank Pym says that he spoke with Reed Richards, and Leech has agreed to spend the day with her so that she can pretty much go outside, and since her powers will be shut down. So Hazmat's able to take off her suit, and she's very gracious that Dr. Pym did this for her, and she starts her day. Meanwhile, everyone else is in class, and Vale keeps reflecting about how she brought that up and how it probably made Speedball feel a bit awkward. So she goes to her room to see what Robbie's up to kind of apologize, but when she comes in, she sees Robbie cutting himself with Penance's helmet. And she freaks out and gets worried, and she's worried that if she tells them that she was spying, she'll get kicked out because she's on probation. And when Justice catches her, she says, nothing, everything's fine. Meanwhile, for Hazmat, she's outside enjoying herself, all happy, and she goes to see her parents, and they figure that since she's here outside of her suit, that she's obviously been cured, but unfortunately that's not the case. So she decides to leave. And Speedball goes into how he was with the New Warriors at the time, doing a reality show, and while they were there, they underestimated Nitro. One of the villains they were fighting, Nitro, who had taken mutant growth hormone and pretty much destroyed 600 people in Stamford, which, albeit you probably already knew from Civil War. So Robbie feels a little, and Robbie tells them to go ahead and read the names of everyone who died. And Robbie doesn't even look. Justice asks Robbie why isn't he looking, and he says he hasn't earned the right, and he already knows the list. And while they're talking, they get bombarded by a bunch of guys wearing Cobalt Men armor who are here to get revenge on Speedball for doing this. And while they're attacking, Speedball unleashes his penance powers and takes them all out, which is good. And one of the policemen that comes up talks to Speedball about this and says that he was once angry at Speedball for what he did, but eventually he kind of earned his trust back with the saving Washington from the Skrull invasion and doing his thing at Avengers Academy, and pretty much tells Speedball that it's okay if he wants to, stick around for a minute. And later at the Academy, Speedball is talking to everyone, telling them that he mainly only cut himself so that he could keep his penance powers active, because those are his most powerful abilities, and they might be more useful in a fight. And Dr. Pym tells him that they'll figure out a way so that Robbie can harness his parents' powers naturally instead of having to cut himself. And he tells Vale that if he wants to know what kind of mood he's in, just ask. And later, again, Dr. Pym is talking to Hazmat, saying that Leech, she could spend another day with Leech, but she tells him no because she would rather stay in the suit, because when she went with the kids to Stamford, she was pretty much her powers weren't back at full capacity, so she was useless. And she decided to wait until Dr. Pym has found a more permanent cure for her powers. And then later that night, Vale figures that she could do one good thing, like speedball, and kind of so that she could be back on the teacher's good side again. So she decides she's going to attempt to bring back Janet Pym, or Janet Van Dyne, I guess. I think she kept her maiden name. And that's pretty much Avengers Academy. Another fantastic issue. Probably the best Avengers book on the market right now. Really is. Now for DC. Giant Size Atom #1. After the Atom co-feature of Adventure Comics was dropped, this is pretty much where we've pretty much been waiting for months for the conclusion of Giant Size Atom. Well, I haven't been waiting. I kind of forgot about it a few months ago until I saw this and kind of jogged my memory about it. But okay, not much except basically where we left off. The colony has the Atom and his Uncle David cornered, and the colony pretty much tells Ray Palmer that if he does anything, they'll kill his dad. Oh wait, give him the white dwarf matter, or they'll kill his dad. And Ray says, "Go ahead and kill him," because he has defenses planned. Bam! Hawkman. Okay, and before I continue, a lot of people are going to be all, "Oh wait, but Hawkman is dead, isn't he? I mean, he got blown up by the White Lantern." Shut up! Okay? This takes place months before what happened with Hawkman and Hawkworld, okay? So don't complain. So don't start questioning yourself about whether or not how this pertains to the current timeline or whatever, okay? Just shut up and enjoy the ride, okay? There. Now that I got that out of me, Hawkman's pretty much kicking the only guy at the colony's ass, but then all of a sudden he starts to feel faint and passes out, allowing the colony to take Ray's father, and the Atom decides he has to save Hawkman quick because there's a bunch of colony soldiers inside him, and since they don't have the right technique to stabilize their shrinking belts, they're pretty much going to self-destruct. And Ray makes it quick before any of them can get to Hawkman's brain or heart. So grabs them all, and before he gets to the last one, which is in the heart, he has to shrink them both down to subatomic size, and then boom, that's taken care of. Unfortunately, Hawkman makes a speedy recovery. And now Ray realizes he has no choice but to just give them the white dwarf matter. So he takes the white dwarf matter back to his lab, makes a few modifications before he gives it to them. And when he does, though, they hand him back the ant form, which contains his father and his uncle. And his uncle is attached to a device that if Ray shrinks him down, then it will explode. But fortunately, the Atom is one smart guy, and he's able to get them both down, again, subatomic size, and out of the ant forms, so that they could pretty much get to the JLA satellite for a quick checkup. Pretty much Ray, and after that, Ray reveals that he sort of weaponized the white dwarf matter, so that it could pretty much be turned with some nano liquid, so that it could pretty much be a weapon against the colony. And while they're working, however, Giant Size Atom shows up. Title. And with Hawkman and his Uncle David is able to take the colony out, but unfortunately David reveals that this is just one cell and that there are thousands of cells across the world, and Ray pretty much makes a vow to take them all out. And in the end, Ray Palmer helps his father home and tells him that he's going to move back in well, pretty much the last part I just have to summarize. It's just a nice father-son moment where they sort of reconcile their differences. Ray's dad is proud of him and it ends with Ray going off to save the day. Okay, Giant Size Atom. I'm not actually complaining about how long this took because I do not remember when the last part came out. I think I eventually lost interest, but this sort of renewed my interest in the Atom again. It was a good story, but overall, I remember reading the story arc that was before this with everything with the colony back in Adventure Comics, and it was good. And this was a nice ending. Great role with Hawkman since he is the Atom's best friend. And this was pretty fun. I liked it. Now then. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's written by Jeff Lemire, who also writes the Superboy series, so that's why I like it. Now, Brightest Day number 21. World on Fire. Nice name for a band. Ray, the Atom, again, shut up about continuity. Ray's checking the remains of the Hawks, and he's surprised, and he suspects that there couldn't have been a fight because there is no blood. It's not usually the Hawks. And meanwhile, at the beach, the Justice League and the Titans are in Miami helping people recover after Aqua War. And while they're there, their Cyborg gets an alert from all the teams, and then all of a sudden black clouds start to form around the Earth. But we ship to Mars, where John Jones has taken out the last Martian, Decay, who was pretty much messed with John's head, creating an illusion that he had rebuilt Mars and his wife and kid were fine, but it was just Decay using him. So John fights back by turning all the thoughts of the people of Earth against her, and they pretty much fight until John realizes there's only one way to end this, so he decides to kill them both. And he flies her near the sun because fire, bad for Martians. And while they're doing this, she dies, but John Jones has earned his life back! Yay! But then the White Ring pretty much gives John a choice that says he must choose his world. And so he decides to head back to Earth. He notices all the fires and stuff across Star City, helps the people, and the White Lantern tells him that he made the right choice, and now he knows his purpose. And again, Deadman shows up to pretty much disintegrate to pretty much what was done to Aquaman and the Hawks, which was disintegration, but John says that he pretty much knows what happens, and he knows what the White Lantern's up to. And he says that if he's supposed to be part of this, then so be it. And he somehow descends into the Earth, apparently. It's not as violent as what happened to the other two. Well, other three people. But, okay. Nice little ending to the John Jones story arc. Great all around. I loved this. It was amazing. Makes me realize why I like John Jones. In fact, it can make a lot of people realize that John Jones is a great character. You know? I'm gonna hand it to Brightest Day. It really makes you take all the pretty much B-list characters that came back and make you sort of focus, make you like them, so that way you could pretty much say, wow, I hope this character gets an ongoing or their own series or something. Pretty great. Alright, now for the final DC. Green Lantern, number 63. Oh yeah, even though this says assault on Oa, the only thing that happens on Oa is just the Guardians talking. So yeah, ignore that tagline. We got a flashback to Corona speaking to Ganthet about how about a discussion of emotions where okay, this is a billion years ago, so Ganthet's pretty much talking about how the Guardians are saying emotion leads to corruption, but Corona's defending it, saying emotions are good. But unfortunately, Ganthet shows up with the rest of the Guardians and the Manhunters. Interesting enough, though, they're all wearing the White Lantern symbol on their robes. And the Guardians, throughout this issue, are having a discussion about how emotions and law cannot coexist without conflict, and that they corrupt, with the example being the Red Lanterns, and Sinestro's pride, and Hal Jordan's instability. And so Hal and the rest of the new Guardians have a lead on where Corona is, and they all decide to go after him to get the entities back. Oh, and also Corona has kidnapped the Predator entity. He's taken it shortly after the battle where the Hawks were on Zamran. And so the new Guardians arrive in the Lost Sector in Ryut, one of the worlds that was annihilated in Sector 666. And they go around, they find, and Sinestro points out that Corona had the Book of Black. And when they go they go check it out, and they learn, and we get some more flashbacks with Corona. He's running from the Manhunters, and he has, interesting enough though, Corona has an early Green Lantern ring. Well, not a ring, more like a gauntlet, but it's kind of like an early power ring. So Corona was behind that, was pretty much behind the weapon, early design of the power ring, or I guess weapon of willpower. And another thing Corona was behind is he took the Manhunters, reprogrammed them, and he was behind the massacre of Sector 666. The one that Atrocitus is so pissed about. And the Guardians interrogate him about it, but he tells them that the Manhunters as an emotionless police force could easily be controlled and manipulated to cause chaos. And right before Corona is being interrogated, he says the line, "Beware my power," from the Green Lantern Oath. And then all of a sudden the book lets the new Guardians go, and then we get a little teaser here for War of the Green Lanterns that says there will only be 3. Interesting. Pretty much this was a prologue to War of the Green Lanterns. Corona now has all the entities, and he was behind, and Corona had a lot of stuff going on before, well, everything, which was the massacre of Sector 666 and the early design of the power ring. So yeah. It's good. It's kind of making me look forward to War of the Green Lanterns. I'm sort of looking forward to that because I want to know what that's all about. Because the Guardians in this told Salat to order a team of Green Lanterns, not Alpha Lanterns, Green Lanterns, to assault Hal Jordan and bring him back to Oa for trials against treason. So that's probably going to be the cause of the War of the Green Lanterns. And maybe when they say, let me see here, 3, there will only be 3, someone's going to lose their ring or die. Of course, in the comic book universe, death means nothing. Alright, Green Lantern overall was pretty good this week. Okay, now just as a quick recap, War of the Green Lantern 63. Pretty good, nice start off for War of the Green Lanterns. Brightest Day number 21. Awesome. John Jones in the center stage. Loved it. Giant Size Atom number 1. A delayed ending to a good story. Not the best, but not awesome, but just good. Avengers Academy number 10. Always a treat to read this. Best Avengers title on the market so far, right now. Annihilators number 1. Pretty pleasing to everyone who's read all the Cosmic Marvel works before this. It's for those who haven't, go back and read them, and you'll probably understand why this is so great. And Darkwing Duck Annual number 1, great. I love the Darkwing Duck series. It's great. And Comic of the Week, we'll have to go to Avengers Academy number 10, one of my favorite ongoings to pick up. Okay? And that's all. Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.